Well met, and welcome back to the Guild Hall. In today's subscriber quest, we're going to talk about trigger foods. I'm going to show you a few different mindsets that might help you approach them, as well as arm you with 3 practical tips for dealing with them. But before we begin, remember, if you would like your question answered in a future subscriber quest or a Q&A, you can always leave your comments down below. But if you want to increase your chances as well as your experience points, follow me on Snapchat, where you can snap me a question where I could potentially then feature your snap in a video. And hey, even if you don't want to ask me a question, or if you just got a really ugly face, you're still probably going to level up a lot faster if you follow me on Snapchat and partake in my daily quest. And besides, could you really live with yourself knowing that every single day you're missing out on vital content like this?
Greetings, Earthling. We come from a solar system where hypertrophy is not possible. We require your gains. All of your gains.
I didn't think so. Please understand that the advice given in this quest is not meant to treat or diagnose actual serious eating disorders, as I am not a therapist or a doctor, although I did play one once. Ambulatto Rants, this is Muscle and Magicka, and you, my friend, just accepted a quest. The thing you have to understand about trigger foods is that the reason
Spit it out, mortal! I haven't got an eternity.
Sorry, that was Prince
Sheogorath.
I've been helping him with his cheese addiction lately, and I keep trying to tell him that sometimes the reason that certain foods set us off so badly is because of the very fact that we're restricting them in the first place. The more we want them, the more we avoid them, which only serves to empower the craving, and then in turn, the more we redouble our efforts to continue avoiding them, and on goes the vicious cycle. I mean, think about it. What happened when the Nords were told they could no longer worship Talos? They started cutting off elf heads is what happened.
That's right!
So my first recommendation to you is to give yourself permission to have the food. Incorporate it into your diet. Have it around your house so that your brain isn't constantly freaking out at the prospect of never having it again. As long as you're taking in the appropriate amount of macro and micronutrients relative to your goals, there's no reason to label your favorite foods as good or bad. Now take it from me, the last thing that you want is to be like Jiggalag, eating clean for 1,000 years and then suddenly going mad prince mode and wiping out an entire era of work.
Stop it!
Now, that's not the end of the quest, because that's not an approach that's going to work for everyone.
Absolutely not.
And also because it's only been a few minutes and I rather enjoy hearing myself talk. Unfortunately, it often goes much deeper than just a psychological mind trick. When we consume food, our bodies release a number of hormones in order to help us digest and absorb nutrients. And some of these hormones are directly responsible for regulating appetite, such as leptin and ghrelin, for instance. The thing is, trying to fight against these hormones, even for a character with, let's say, completely maxed out willpower, is like trying to break out of a mind control spell, except you don't have any trinkets and all of your stun breaks are on cooldown. Constantly. What's even worse is that some kinds of foods, especially the hyper-palatable kinds that combine refined sugar and fat, have actually been shown to have an effect on the pleasure and reward centers of the brain, influencing dopamine release.
Really?
In other words, what we're talking about here is the same pathway that is activated in the brains of people who are dealing with things like alcohol and drug addiction. Now, different people seem to have different individual genetic responses to dopamine, so while some folks may have the natural willpower bonus to be able to stop after one cookie, for others it's not unlike trying to separate a Khajiit from his moon sugar.
Oh no, can't do it. Believe me, I've tried.
As you can see, there are circumstances in which flexible dieting alone is not going to be enough. Maybe you're very lean and your body is recruiting all of the hormones and neurotransmitters it can to get you to put on some body fat. Maybe addiction runs in your family and you are in fact genetically predisposed to overeating. I don't know, maybe you're a Daedric prince who's just batshit crazy about cheese.
Jeez!
Whatever the case is, don't worry, I've got your back.
The Wabachak!
I said I've got your back. My number one tip in this case is not to stock your trigger food at home. Now, you may still be able to enjoy it occasionally in social settings when you're out with friends and family and they'll be watching you such that you'll feel really uncomfortable if you just devour the entire wheel of
cheese.
The best way to defeat a dragon is not to fight the dragon in the first place, so don't immerse yourself in unnecessary temptation. Unfortunately, sometimes there are dragons at the grocery store, so my second tip is to go shopping with a plan. Do not go to the store hungry, do go with a list. And I want you to make a pact with the 9 divines, if you have to, that you will not exit that store with anything that is not on that list. With a little bit of luck and sneak skill, you should have no problem getting out without aggroing the dragon. And finally, for those of you who live with someone else, someone whose sole purpose for existing seems to be to find your trigger foods, buy them, and then eat them in front of you, and then also for those of you who simply can't be trusted to follow the first 2 steps on your own, my final piece of advice is this. use a follower. I'd skip Lydia, she's pretty much useless apart from giving away her position and getting herself killed. And you can forget about Serana, she's an overpowered kill stealer. A heart stealer, to be sure, but I wish she'd spend more time stealing my heart and less time stealing my kills. So lean on your support network. Reach out to your best friend or your closest family member and ask them to keep you accountable. And if you don't have anyone like that in your life, here's what I want you to do. Download Snapchat, add me on it, and the next time you decide you want to go buy something that's not going to help you reach your goals, I want you to snap me. And I will support you. I will buff you. I'll debuff you if that's what you need. I am capable of sending snaps that you will never be able to unsee.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again.
Seriously though, it's my duty as Guildmaster to provide you with all of the weapons and spells that you need to dispel bro magic and level up your fitness and nutrition. And Snapchat is a place where I can be much more interactive with you knights daily and have face-to-face conversations. So join my daily quest, follow me on Snapchat so you don't miss important things like this.
What if I told you that these aren't actually pills, but just a few dots that I drew on Snapchat?
Don't forget to like the video if you gained some experience points, and if you didn't like the video, my name's been Mike Chang. If you want more of these quests, subscribe to the channel and join the Order of Muscle and Magicka. Until next time, stay vigilant.
Isn't there something you should be doing right now? You know, for example, the things you were specifically told to do.
Stop right there, criminal